Good morning, Wellspring. In Zoomland, we will mute you and unmute you after the service ends. My name is Judy Bethman, and I'm part of your Sunday service team for December 11th, 2022. Okay, we have announcements. Early birds meet Sunday mornings at 9:30 via Zoom. The link is on the weekly email and on the website. Upcoming speakers is on the 18th, Peggy Shin will be here, and then on Christmas Day, Dr. Edward will speak. The dowsing workshop, which was scheduled for December 17th, has been canceled at the request of Jean. The Lunch Bunch will meet next year, January 10th on Tuesday at 11:30. And lastly, our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. You may submit a request via our webpage. Our prayer team meets virtually on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15 to pray with you. You may consider sitting quietly in your space during that time. We know that we are one in spirit, and the energy of prayer knows no limits. Let us all breathe in. And as we breathe out, we release all the cares of the past week and all the worries of the upcoming week. As we invite spirit into our being, let's breathe in as an invitation to that spirit. As we release, we know that spirit really doesn't need an invitation, but probably likes to be invited anyway. And we know that it is constantly surrounding us in everything we do and everything we see and everything we are. We are one with that spirit. And what a rejoicing thing that is. We release this and let go and let God. And so it is. All right. Please stand if you are able, and we will sing our song of joy. Though I may speak with bravest far, and have the gift to all inspire, and have not love, my words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Though I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, but not begin my love within, my prophet soon turns strangely thin. Come, Spirit, calm our hearts' control, our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are freed. Thank you. You may be seated. And let us read our vision, mission, and affirmation statement. Our vision to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission, to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. Our affirmation, I give thanks for the abundance of, hold it. Okay. I welcome the light and love of the divine to shine in me, through me, as me. I am a light in the darkness for those around me, and only grow the light the more that I share this divine spark with others. We magnify this light in our community together. And so it is. Well, it's my privilege to present to you Ayo Oriola Mufta, who comes to us from Washington, D.C., and who has Nigerian roots. So we welcome you for the first time, Ayo.
So I just wanted to say something before I bring Ayo up here. I'm just soft-spoken. What can I say? There. So anyway, Ayo is one of the many miracles I've experienced since I've started working at these New Thought churches. It's like I thought I could find no soloists in this town, and all I get is just an abundance of talented people. But this guy is truly a miracle. He sent his name in to Bonnie. Bonnie contacted Helen at Unity. Helen contacted me, and I thought, okay, let me see if I can get hold of him. And I did, and we got together. And the first note out of his voice, I thought, oh, wow, how come I waited so long? Anyway, it's been a great 2 weeks working with him. And I'd like to now introduce Ayo Oriola. And he's going to explain the song he's going to sing today.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for having me. As they say in the Pentecostal tradition, giving honor to God and to the pastors. I'm not familiar with the tradition, but the pastors, elders, and as the Yoruba people like to say, to the mothers and fathers. So thank you all for having me. So this song is a Yoruba folk song in the Christian tradition. And I like to think of the scripture, with God all things are possible. So that scripture kind of captures the spirit of the song. And you may translate the song to mean that which seemed difficult, God has done it with ease. I had to write this down. So what we imagine to be impossible, we find that with God, all things are possible. So with the Yorubas of West Africa, song is a way to kind of appreciate it. So it's a song of gratitude, really. And so as I present the song to you, consider or think about that scripture. And that's really what the song is. It's a song of gratitude. So, all right. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, ohun tí wọ́n rò pé kò ṣeé ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, ohun tí wọ́n rò pé kò ṣeé ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, mo dúpẹ́ o, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, ohun tí wọ́n rò pé kò ṣeé ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, ohun tí a rò pé kò ṣeé ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, mo dúpẹ́ o, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, ohun tí a rò pé kò ṣeé ṣe. Wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, ohun tí wọ́n rò pé kò ṣeé ṣe. wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, mo dúpẹ́ o, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe, wẹ́rẹ́ ló bá mi ṣe. That's a song. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We look forward to your second presentation. Where else but in New Thought can we have a variety of musical experiences, right? The reading today is from the Meditations of the Heart by Howard Thurman, and it is titled, Thy Light Within Me. Kindle thy light within me, O God. Kindle thy light within me, that all my darkness may be clearly defined. It is so easy for me to recognize and respond to the darkness in others. Far more conscious am I of the error of the others than of my own. The temptation is ever present to compare my strengths with others and others' weaknesses, to my own advantage, to my own self-glory. Searchingly, there wells up in my mind the terrible thought, I thank thee that I am not as other people. Kindle thy light within me, O God, that I may be guarded against self-deception and the vanity that creeps into my spirit where a shadow is cast between me and thy scrutiny. I must know through all the reaches of my spirit that my light at its best is dim and clouded with shadow. Teach me the technique that I can lay bare not merely my failures, my shortcomings, my sin, but also my success, my strength, and my righteousness. Kindle thy light within me, O God, that thy glow may be spread over all of my life. Yea, indeed, that thy glow may be spread over all my life. More and more may thy light give radiance to my flickering candle, fresh vigor to strength, to struggling intent, and renewal to my flagging spirit. Without thy light within me, I must spend my years fumbling in darkness. Kindle thy light within me, O God. And that's from his Meditations of the Heart. And now it gives my great pleasure to present to you our beloved Reverend Kamatara.
Whew, what a morning already. We're done. Between the music, the reading, and the beautiful people who are here, and hello, beautiful people online, sending you love. So this has just been a gorgeous morning, just feeling so blessed to be from Albuquerque and visiting you and being here with my husband, Ken. So it's just been a beautiful weekend. And boy, December. How is it December? What? Yeah, holy cow. And December is such an interesting month. It can be so incredibly beautiful and so incredibly difficult. And it's the darkest month of the year. So for a lot of folks, that's intensely hard to not have the light. And so I appreciate with the affirmation of light, we had a reading of light, and we've got all the holiday. Well, okay, this isn't lit up, but in the social hall, there's beautiful things that are all. Oh, when you first walk in, there's a Christmas tree that's lit up, and Judy's going to turn on the light. She's such an angel, I swear. And God said, "Let there be light." Well, and okay, well, another time. The cord doesn't stretch it. All right. We're getting there. Our little elves are fast at work. So, light, Oompa. So I really appreciate the extra lights that we have at this time inside our homes, outside our homes, driving around, seeing all the fabulous lights that help us in the darkness. And I also get that in many, many faiths, this time of darkness, much like in nature itself, it's a time of deep quietness and healing and contemplation and restoration, that there's this really sacred moment. And that light is so important in so many faiths, whether it's the Christian Advent wreath with the candles, or we've got the menorah in the Jewish faith, or we've got Kwanzaa, all the beautiful candles. It's really important. And it's so helpful in this dark time. And I especially think of, in the Christian tradition, probably one of the most famous quotes about light. In fact, it's probably one of the ones that folks could just say, you know, regardless of how super involved in Christianity you are or not. It's the whole, from Matthew chapter 5, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a lamp and put it under the bushel, but on the stand, and it shines unto all that are in the house. Even so, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify the Father who is in heaven. And no matter what your spiritual persuasion is, there is deep and abiding truth in that concept, that we are called to shine the light of the divine, that the Christ that is within can be seen and known without. That is beautiful and powerful and important. And may I also say, I am so sick of it. Holy cow. It's very hackneyed. And as a minister, it's December, it's time to give the talk about light. And I'm like, oh, again with the light. And I'm tired of being compelled to shine. Be on, be radiant, shine. And I'm like, oh, the topic can get really old really fast. And then, as Spirit would have it, because I know that God or Spirit or whatever you want to call that has a deep sense of humor, I was asked to host a discussion group with a global spiritual community in which I help. It is called Soul Evolution Collaborative. It's a virtual spiritual community. And they said, oh yeah, we really need a substitute minister, which is what I do. So here I am, like, you got it. I will host that discussion group for you. And the topic was light. And the interesting part, though, is that it was about two aspects of light that I have never thought about before. And it was so touching, and it was really powerful. And it made me learn. Thank you, Spirit. And I want to really share some of those thoughts with you today. And so what we looked at were two different, more scientific aspects of light. And the first aspect that we looked at, the quality of light, is the concept of brightness, which is sometimes also called brilliance. And brightness is defined as an expression of the relative intensity of the energy output of a visible source. An expression of the relative intensity of the energy output of a visible source. So I really want to focus on the word relative. When it comes to brightness or brilliance, it is relative. And it's relative to a couple things the more I contemplated this. It is relative to, first, is it visible? Okay, if you've got the bushel covering the light, it is not visible. It is hidden. People cannot see it. It doesn't matter, what's going on there. It's hidden. It cannot be seen. It is obscured by something. Okay, another relativity is the context in which it is seen. If you ever think about a time when you've been in the movie house and the lights are out and then they turn the lights on and you're like, oh, my eyes, it's so bright, right? The brightness of it is just killer. Or if you've ever been out in the beautiful sun here in Las Cruces, blinding sun, which I love, and then you go inside of a building that has the lights on and you're like, oh, it's so dark in here. Even though the light has not changed per se, it is so relative to the context. Okay, another way that brilliance or brightness is relative is because of the viewer's perception. So I have transition lenses. Do any of you have those fancy schmancy sunglasses that just go in reaction to the sun? I am so spoiled and I love them. But one of the tricks is that I've been outside and they are, boom, sunglasses. And I step inside, I can't see a blooming thing for at least 5 minutes, right? So my perception of the brilliance is completely hampered. Cannot see it. And I know other people have visual impairments, or you might have cataracts or other things going on with your eyes. You literally cannot see what is there, regardless of what is there. Okay, obviously we're going to make the transfer. Let's transfer all of that to our spiritual journey. So, are we bright lights of the divine? Of course we are, but let's talk about our relativity, the brilliance that we may or may not be showing out of the divine. A first question for each one of us to contemplate is our light visible? Am I hiding it? Am I shrinking it? Am I turning it down? Am I hiding it under a bushel or tucking it away or kind of turning that wick down and not letting? Is it visible? Is my light visible for people to see? Another really interesting thought to contemplate is in what context am I shining or not shining? Because the context, I mean, it's so relative. I could walk into a certain place and totally crush it. And I could walk into another place and be like, maybe not so much. And that's okay. There's no judgment about that. Even just to be aware of, okay, this is a context where I'm going to choose to shine. This is a context where I'm going to hang back a little bit. Or I don't feel like shining. Is that a concern? Maybe, maybe not. And that's okay too, just to have permission to be, how do you want to show up? It's okay to dim our light sometimes, to rest, to replenish, and to just shine when we're ready. Another interesting thought about brilliance is to consider, who is the perceiver of my light? Is it someone out there who may or may not be perceiving my brilliance? Is that on me? Not really. It's the person, and no judgment about that. Maybe the person can see my brilliance. Maybe they can't. That's fine either way. So I think the bigger question is, am I capable of seeing my brilliance? Because sometimes the perceiver is me, and I may not be able to see my own light in that moment. So brilliance or brightness, it's so relative. So in contrast to brightness, that is very relative to perception and context, let's shift into a different concept. A contrast to that is the concept of intensity. Intensity is the power that a light has. So a light is, let me say that again. The intensity of a light is its power per unit as a physical quality. Yeah, so let me say that one more time because it's very sciencey, and that's why I have to read it just right. So the intensity of a light is its power per unit area as a physical quality. So it is not relative. It has X capacity. That is its full capacity. This is the light capacity it has. Like a light bulb has X amount of watts. But if you have a dimmer switch, you can turn it up or you can turn it down. That's its brightness. But its intensity, all the way up. It's right there. So a light's brightness may vary, but its intensity is a set number, an inherent value that it has. So let's make the transfer to our spiritual journey. My light may vary in brightness or brilliance, but my intensity or my power is a constant. I always have the full power of the light of the divine within me, should I but choose to remove the bushel and put it on a stand. That capacity never goes away. It just lies in wait to be used, to flick on the switch, to remove the bushel, whatever that is. So really the big question here is, can I recognize and choose my brilliance, but know my power? And that's where we get into some very advanced spiritual practice, because that takes discernment to really sit and observe and listen and be aware of myself, which means I have to have the courage to face myself and be with myself, which can be really scary at times. It takes a lot of strength, discernment, self-awareness to be able to understand my own brilliance and to not be afraid of my own power. It also, I think, takes a bit of the Don Miguel Ruiz. I know one of the 4 agreements is to not take it personally. So in this context, could I not take it personally when someone else doesn't see my brilliance? I can know that it's still there, regardless of how other people may be reacting to me. Or as Ernest Holmes puts it in The Science of Mind, if one sees only unloveliness in others, it is because unloveliness is a strong element in himself. The light he throws on others is generated in his soul, and he sees them as he chooses to see them. So someone may be choosing to see my brilliance. They may not. But I know that my light, while it may seem relative, is an unchanging value. That I have the power of my light that never ceases to be. And when I own that, that's where the miracles happen. That's where the magic takes place. And on the flip side of this brilliance and intensity, let's just take a moment to think about that dark place. Can I recognize when I really truly am in a dark place and to honor that sacred space that even nature takes every year to be in this dark place to do the work? It's a really important place to be, not to, just raced through, to really make space for whatever needs to be grieved or known or healed or replenished. Like, what is it that my soul needs in this moment if I really am in a dark place? And that's okay. And then what might I need inside to replenish my light, but also, is there anything outside of me that could replenish my light? Like going to the beautiful concert y'all are going to see today in El Paso, or going out to the lunch bunch, or hearing beautiful music, or, talking with your beautiful friends, or going to a spiritual class, or reading something that just touches your soul, like the Howard Thurman. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be looking at that Kindle, the light within me. I'm going to be looking that back up. And I'm going to be going back to the YouTube video once this is posted and listening to your beautiful song again, probably daily for a week, to do that would be a beautiful prayer. Wouldn't that be amazing? So again, if I am in a dark place, what would help me to regain my sense of light? It's just like when your cell phone is draining and you're like, oh, the battery's almost dead. What's one of the first things that we do? Dim the light. If you can't plug it in, the very first thing we do to save the battery is dim the light. And then, yes, plug it in. And then when it's ready, shift into full brightness because it's all charged up. So really, in that time of potential darkness, is it possible to even see, like, let your eyes adjust, and can you even see, like, what might be dimming your light? Is it the drained battery? Or to shift to something that I picture better, growing up in a farmhouse in Wisconsin, we had the oil lamps, especially when the power went out, as it often did. And so, is there oil in there? Maybe, maybe not. Has the wick been trimmed? Or is it just out of control? Or is it too far down? Is the globe all sooty and crazy and obscured and dirty? That can light on fire, I'm just saying. So it's time to clean it. What needs to happen so your light is no longer obscured? So your brilliance can be known, because the intensity, the power is there, but the brilliance may be covered. So if you can take care of yourself, and then when you're ready to just shine without apology, that would be amazing. You are amazing. You have that inherently within you right at this moment now. Just got to plug it in. And a quote that always comes to mind with this topic is from Marianne Williamson. And I know you've heard it a million times before. In fact, you could probably say it with me. But I feel like I could just never hear this quote enough. I could probably hear it once a day and it would not be enough. So I'm going to say it to you, but I would love for you to imagine as if the divine presence itself were saying this to your inner child. Let's give this a shot. Okay. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And that's the point of the journey, the liberation, to be that light for each other, to be that light in the darkness. And so from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, he says, we have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer. Within, there is a power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe and satisfied and at peace and healed and prosperous in a new light, in a new life. And that's the challenge right here, right now, at this moment in time for each one of us. Can we connect with a new light, with a new sense of life? So the challenge this week, can you recognize and choose your brilliance, but know your power? Let's take it to prayer. I sure could use a prayer. How about you? Woo, hitting close to home. Ole. Okay. That was safe for ministers. Anything that you're talking about, you're just talking to yourself. So it's all good. Thank you for sharing that with me. In this moment, in this place, it is so easy to recognize the presence and power of that one living source, of the all that is, of this thing I choose to call God. And I know that this infinite loving presence is expressing as each person here present and in all of life, even beyond what we can understand, because the divine is all there is. It's the something sacred going on right here, right now between us, in us, as us, through us, this experience. And knowing that perfect alignment for each person as a bountiful expression of the divine, I know that each one of us is a light in the darkness. Each one of us has an inherent value, an inherent power, an intensity that expresses the divine. That special calling that only you or I can bring to the world. That special light that is unique in each one of us. And I claim for each person a rekindling of the light of the divine, a reconnection, a cleaning up of any soot or ash or anything that obscures our light. I claim a healing, a depth of understanding, a gentleness, a kindness that allows anything that does not serve our best and highest good to just fall away. And whatever does come into that beautiful healing presence of the love comes forth naturally and just shines forth, that the way is made clear, even where there seems to be no way. And that way is well lit by the love of the divine. And I'm so grateful for the power of this truth, for the spiritual community where we can support each other on the journey, for the divine that continues to flow in each one of us, for the light in the darkness. I am so grateful for how we all bless each other in this very special holiday season. So knowing that absolutely everything is in divine right order, I let this prayer go and let it be, knowing that God is on the job and all is well. And feel free to say with me, and so it is.
And now we're privileged to hear our second rendition from Ayo.
My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes. Yes, as the universe says yes. My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can soothe and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes. Yes, as the universe says yes.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Something Kamatara didn't say about light is both a particle and a wave. As we are both divine and human, so there's a duality there. We are all part of science and technology and art and everything else. So thank you. Thank you. We go back to our slides. As we acknowledge and receive our virtual and in-person gifts, we give great thanks for the offerings already given and those we will be receiving, because we know that giving and receiving are part of the one flow. We affirm that we are also part of that flow. We bless these gifts and know that they are multiplied throughout our community. We also want to thank Sharon White for the great Christmas decorations. The Christmas tree in the social hall needs your help, so put a decoration on it and be a part of the process. It's a little bare, so there are ornaments in the, okay. There are a number of folks who have contributed to the production of this service, and we are grateful for their service. And we thank you for joining us today in Zoomland and here in the sanctuary. And stay around, Zoom people, for a meeting after the service to visit if you wish, or join us in the social hall. At this point, I'm going to take, since I've got the microphone, a point of personal privilege. This is the last time I'll be seeing you this year. I don't know when I'll be back. I'm flying with my dog on Tuesday. I'm meeting with the surgeon on Thursday. I will keep you posted as to what's happening in my life. And please hold Jasper and I in the light as we do our travels and as I undergo this medical problem that is going to be fixed. Praise, praise. So, oh, okay.
So we're going to do a prayer for our precious Judy here. So just know with me in our prayer positions. Here we go. I know that Judy is a beautiful, powerful, amazing, brilliant expression of the one loving source, and that the arms of the divine are around Judy always and her precious dog as she travels to Chicago and meets with her medical team. And I know that she's got family and loved ones. Everyone who's supporting her is absolutely divinely guided and blessed. I know that Judy receives the absolute best care possible, and that everything that happens with her body is just the perfect outcome, because bodies are amazing and they absolutely know what to do to heal and replenish themselves. So I know the doctors and nurses and all the medical folks, they are divinely guided and blessed. It's amazing what they can do, and that Judy's body responds perfectly to it, and that her recovery is just so blessed that it's easy, it's effortless. She's surrounded with her loved ones, and I know everything with Judy is a party. So it's just going to be fun and funny and gorgeous and fabulous, even in all its messy goodness. So I know that we are with Judy, and the divine is with Judy every step and not step of the way. And that when she does return to Las Cruces in Wellspring, she'll have bells on and her fabulous spunky self. She'll be feeling awesome, and we'll all be reunited with just such great bounty that is this bright shining light we know as Judy. So I give thanks for this time to support Judy in prayer, and for all the precious care and recovery that she has, knowing that she is divinely guided, supported, and blessed. So go ahead and say with me a very rousing, and so it is.
What a generous Christmas present that was. Thank you so much. All right, please stand if you are able and read with me the benediction. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world. And so it is.